Hello, today we're going to learn about how to install Microsoft SharePoint 2016. So let's get started. First things first, go to your favorite browser, type in Windows SharePoint 2016 in the search bar. You're going to scroll down, probably going to look like something like this. It's a Microsoft link. You're going to go to that link, which I've already done obviously. And then once you're here, you can pretty much download anything from Microsoft for free, a trial version rather, and you're going to log in obviously with your credentials, your Microsoft, like your Hotmail or something like that, and you see this SharePoint Server 2016 preview. You're going to click on download, and you're going to choose the, well, based on where you're at. But in my case, I chose the SharePoint Server 2016 IT Preview ISO file. It's about 2.8 gig, and since I've already downloaded it, I'll just show you what the ISO looks like. Once you download the ISO file and put it wherever, in this case I put it in my data store, and here's the file itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach that to my VM, and then we're going to run it. So one second. Here's that file I was mentioning about, the ISO file. It's 2.9 gig, and what we're going to do is just mount that to our VM and then run SharePoint 2016, run the install. Next things we can do is I'm going to show you we mounted the ISO. I'm going to click on my PC, double click on that SharePoint 2016 preview, and we're going to install the software prerequisites. There's quite a bit, so when this is running I'm going to pause the video and come back to it. You do need internet for this to install SharePoint 2016, and there obviously are some other things as well. I'm going to have to install SQL 2014 as well in order for SharePoint to work. I may do it in the same box, but I may do the prerequisites first, then I'll probably install SharePoint 2014 and then finish up with the SharePoint 2016 installation. I'm going to click next and accept, next, and it's going to do its installing the prerequisites, and we'll come back to it after it's been rebooted. Okay, we're done with the prerequisites, and let's just we can click on review the log file, and it tells you what's installed, etc. And we're going to push finish to reboot the server. Our installation has been complete. Our SharePoint prerequisites have been completed. Now we're going to install the SQL Server 2014. Let's get started. I've already mounted my 2014 SQL Server ISO in my VM. Double click on it. Double click on it. Okay. And it's going to run installation of SQL Server 2014. Click on installation, then new SQL Server standalone installation, or add features to the existing installation. This is a free version, obviously evaluation version of SQL Server 2014. So we're just basic install. We're going to push next, accept the terms license. Accept the terms. Next, and it's just going to do its health check, if you will. We're not going to do any updates for this. We're just going to leave it like it is. Push next, because it's development environment, just to get SQL installed. And obviously there are going to be more videos than after we install SQL, and rather after we install SharePoint 2016. Going to build on that. Going to have a lot more videos, just the installation part. And That's normal. You'll see that a lot. Windows Firewall won't pass. Push next. And we're just going to do the SQL Server feature installation. We're not going to do all features with defaults. We're just going to do the SQL Server feature. And we're going to people may do other things, but I'm going to do them all. Okay, we're going to select all features, just like to have everything available, just in case you need it for later on. I'm going to push next. I'm going to give this a named instance. Actually, I'm going to call it SQL underscore SharePoint 2016. Okay, I'll just call it SharePoint 16. So we're going to push next. Okay, we're going to leave everything on to automatic. I like to have everything to come on, and push next. Here we go. I know a couple of my other videos I said mixed mode, and for this one we're just going to use Windows authentication. Click on add current user, and then push next, and add current user, then push next. We're going to install and configure. Well, actually, we're just going to install the reporting services and the reporting services SharePoint integration mode, and push next. And replay controller. We're just gonna push next on this, not add it. We're gonna push next, and leave that blank. The controller name next, and it tells you where you are going to install SharePoint, rather SQL, and push install. So it's going to take several minutes for it to install. We're going to come back when it's finished. And we're done with the installation of SQL Server 2014. Now we're going to install the SharePoint server. When installing SharePoint, it's going to prompt you to actually add your key that you're going to get, the trial version key, and push continue. We're going to read through all this if you want to, and push continue. We're going to install at the default location. You can change if you desire, but we're going to install at the default location the SharePoint and the let's see here. Okay, so now it's just going to install what it needs to install, and then we're going to come back when it's finished. Looks like our SharePoint installation is complete. Now we're ready to run the SharePoint products configuration wizard. I believe it's going to start. Sure is. Look at that. Okay, we're going to click on next. Yes. We're going to start by creating a new server farm. Here's the real critical part here.
And in this regard, since normally if you install SQL Server, it'll give you that default instance, so you can just leave it the default, and then there's no other SQL Server, so it's not going to know what database it has. So in this regard, we have to specify our database name. Let's see, Windows app, and then our SQL database, our SQL instance rather, is SharePoint 16, and our domain name, domain rather, so domain account meshed text lab / meshed text. Okay, and then we put our password in, and push next. Okay, meshed text. Mesh Text Lab. Mesh Text. Oh, the S. Okay. And next. Hey, look at that. Passphrase. This is really important. So you can, whatever your passphrase you want it to be, you're going to specify it. I'm going to just put, I don't know what I'm going to put, something I can remember. Okay. And push next. And we're going to do a single server farm. And next. And we're going to leave it everything default. Push next. 48082. And push next. Whenever you go and log in through the web interface, you're going to just use this is what you're going to put in the Internet Explorer or Mozilla Firefox to access your CA, Central Administration URL, and everything looks good. I'm going to push next, and it's going to go through and perform some of the tasks from 1 to 10. I'm not going to bore you with this. I'm going to pause the video and come back to after it's done. Installation of SharePoint has completed. Now let's close it out. Click Finish rather. Let me just show you the SQL now. So you see now it's created that SharePoint config database. Okay, once it's finished installing, it's going to prompt you for the username, password. It's going to log you into the SharePoint administration site, or you can just go here and go over to SharePoint Central Admin Administration or Central Administrator, and it's going to come up to a website where you can log in and you can do all sorts of things. Now, obviously, you're a CA or a central administrator or a SharePoint admin, if you will, to your site. And this is where you log in. You're going to see the same thing if you click Finish. So we're going to log in here. Okay, and okay. Maybe you have something important. Whenever you go to a website on in the internet or whatever, you're going to see sites that say .aspx. It's typically a SharePoint site. So this is a central administration, and you can do everything from here. This concludes the tutorial on how to install SharePoint 2016 on a computer that is on a domain. Thank you very much.